Hi, everybody. Laura here. Thank you so much for joining me today. I've got a fun project to share with you featuring the Everything About You dies from the latest April release with Concord Ninth. And I'm just going to give you a quick overview of the fun April release products, starting with the paper bouquet dies. I love how the back of the packaging shows you what all the die sets look like. Here's the We a family, and it gives you all the names: grandpa, niece, uncle, and on and on. And then here's the Everything About You dies. This one just made my heart go pitter patter. It's kind of layering but also negative space, and this is a really fun sunburst card front die. Great texture. You could use it with anything. Here we have the world's greatest stamp set with the world's greatest dies. Makes like a big old trophy, like a Stanley Cup for mom or dad or kid or friend. And then, the best friends vibes dies. Friendship bracelets. This is great for those Swifties in your life. You like making friendship bracelets? My daughter does those braided yarn ones. And then you have the little coordinating stamp sets for paper bouquet and the Everything About You stamp set. And then this is the We Are Family. I can't say it. I have to sing it. But the Everything About You just really drew me in, and I wanted to try it first. So this is the first look at the Everything About You. So you got the 3 U's, and it really plays on that negative space, and then behind it, it's like foliage galore. So the back of the packaging gives you a little sneak peek of what all you can do. You certainly can make a lot of different looks. I know Carissa Wiley did an amazing walkthrough of all these new products. You check that out on the Concord Ninth YouTube channel. I'm going to do a panel using Eucalyptus cardstock. This is by Concord Ninth. It's a new 2024 color, which I love. So I'm choosing this particular U here. I just kind of went like the back of the packaging. Basically, I'm following that recipe. And then I have another one here. This is a panel of Pebble cardstock, so it's a very, very soft, subtle gray. And I'm just kind of eyeballing these, just centering them. You can line it up perfectly after you die cut. And then for the third U, I'm using VELLUM. I wanted to add more foliage, but I didn't want any more contrasting color. So there's your 3 U's: Eucalyptus, Pebble, and VELLUM. But you can get so many different looks depending on the shades of cardstock that you choose to use. Okay, so I'm just taking off the dies. I took those off camera, ran them through my die cutting machine, and then now you just can layer them up. There's also a big outline of the U, so you can get another look there too if you choose to use the outline. Now, every now and again, I can only go so long before I gotta strip it up. So I have some, these are more shades of Concord Ninth. We've got Honeysuckle, and here, you see I cut a little strip using my Tonic Guillotine. I'm not measuring. I'm just cutting strips. I like the irregularity. This is Cranberry. Here we have Poppy, my favorite. It's the bright, bold, happy red for me. And then we have Sorbet. These are kind of like my go-to colors. Honeysuckle, Cranberry, Poppy, Sorbet, and then we have Grapefruit. I'll have everything linked in the description box if you forget what shades I used. Taking a little tape runner or liquid glue, and I'm going to adhere these teeny tiny little strips. I went ahead and cut another one. I think that's Ballet Slipper. So starting it off with Ballet Slipper and then going into Honeysuckle. And I think that these warm tones just really bring a brightness and a happiness to this Eucalyptus panel. And now if you keep it just Eucalyptus, Pebble, and VELLUM, it's very sublime, very, neutral and kind of soft and dreamy. But then you add these strips of warm tone and it gives that punch of happy. So you can see my strips now are starting to cut into the bottom of the Y. So I'm going to have to, after I get these all glued down and adhered, I'm going to take that same U die and die cut back into this stripped up portion. I'm just trimming off the excess with my these are my favorite little Spellbinders detail scissors. Highly recommend. I have a ton of scissors, and these ones might be my favorite. Okay, so I forgot a little bit over here on the left, and I just took that little snippets of extra and put it back on over. That's what you call being thrifty and nifty. Putting the extras over there, because I didn't realize I was going to need them. Every card's an evolution, you know what I mean? It just has a mind of its own and you just roll with it. Okay, taking that U die, putting it back over, and it just kind of snaps right into place. I'll take it off camera, run it through my die cutting machine, and that'll, re-die cut those little parts that overlapped in the strip it up area. And I love this Place and Pierce wand by Simon Says Stamp. It's great. It just does all the popping and the piercing that you need. Back again, cutting off that little bit of excess. And then I'm going to glue these other U's underneath my eucalyptus panel. You could use tape runner. I'm just using some liquid glue, and I'm just doing it around the outer part of the U. I'm not gluing down the foliage. I want those to be free and loose. And I'm cutting off the excess as I go. So here's the little panel of Pebble, gluing that on the back as well. You could also use foam tape if you want to, make this more dimensional. It would give you some incredible shadows. Another thing I'm thinking is you could back this with acetate, make it a shaker. Just cutting off that excess of Pebble that's hanging over the eucalyptus. By the way, I don't know if I mentioned, but my eucalyptus panel is cut quite a bit smaller than an A2 size card. And this is going to give a fabulous, nice white border on an A2 size white card base. Look at that border. The border is what gets me. I don't know. And there's this teeny tiny little die in the Everything About You that cuts 3 little blooms. And I'm going to cut them out of Honeysuckle, Sorbet, and Grapefruit. And there's little areas in the foliage that are spots to adhere blooms. Again, I referred to the back of the packaging to know exactly where these blooms go. I always need help, so you probably do too. Look at the back of the packaging. It's pretty self-explanatory. There's these little areas on the foliage that are round. It's like a spot to put your adhesive and pop your bloom down. This is a great opportunity to add some color too. It just brings a little color, little cheer throughout the U. So it's like you're looking into a window. Now here's the Everything About You kind of sub-sentiment stamp set. There's a lot of different sentiments to choose from, and they all pair beautifully with that big bold U. And I'm going to emboss a sentiment in white on a little strip of black cardstock. So I prepped it with my powder tool, inking it up with Versamark ink. I'm going to pour on some Simon Says Stamp white embossing powder. While I'm doing this, I got my heat gun going, getting her hot and ready, so that when it's time to emboss, it goes real quick and you have minimum warpage. And then I'll take my little mini guillotine. This is my favorite tool for trimming out sentiment strips. I don't know what I ever did before this. I think I always use my sentiment label dies by Simon Says Stamp, but this is even quicker. I love that thing. Okay, and then I'm going to put some foam tape behind it, pop it up right on my stripped up portion. I was a little bit concerned about covering up some of the color, but sometimes you just gotta pop up a sub-sentiment and live your life. Okay, so there you have You Mean the World to Me. I'm finishing this off with a few enamel dots. These are also by Concord 9th. I just chose some coordinating colors. I have eucalyptus, a ballet slipper, and a few other coordinating colors. This card is finished. What do you think? I love how it turned out. It's pretty effortless. That's exactly how Concord 9th always makes it. They make you look better than you are. Make sure to check out their April release. Thank you so much for joining me today. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time.